So, how can Conor McGregor beat Max Holloway at UFC 329? A payday MMA production, first one on the channel, but a big one coming up, massive fight between two guys that have fought each other already, completely different styles at the time of their fight, though, 13 years ago. Not anywhere similar as fighters or just people in general. And this is how I think Conor can defeat Max. So McGregor's tools, you know, significant power difference. Max always pillow fisted, and I feel at 170 he's not going to have, those heavy hands. Maybe when he fought Dustin at 318, it's not going to be the same. And I don't think Conor's had the damage that Dustin's faced in his career. He's been off for 5 years, and that'll be a factor coming up later in the video. But it's just a big thing for Conor and his power compared to Max. And we've seen Max got chinned by Topuria, he's been dropped by Dustin, dropped by Gaethje, rocked by Oliveira on the feet, short time in that fight. So it could really come into play. And then just overall strength and frame advantage. Holloway has a couple inches on him maybe, but Conor's reach will play a big factor in this, just to stay on the outside, maybe not get all up in Max's face, because I really think that Max being the more consistent fighter is going to lead him to have better accuracy in the pocket. His timing on the shots will be better, and I think that could really come into play. So I think his ability to keep his distance with his long reach at his height and his strength too. I mean, he's going to be significantly bigger, probably around 15, 20 pounds heavier than Max on fight night. So that could really come into play here. And then the grappling. McGregor's wrestling, even though he's been exposed at certain points of his career against Khabib and Chad Mendez, Holloway has had it just as bad against people like, Topuria took him down easily, didn't necessarily use it to finish the fight, but put it out there. And Oliveira completely dominated them, and I just think that McGregor's wrestling, if he really wanted to use it, that would be a big factor, and I don't think that's going to come into play here, but I definitely think that it could be a factor if needed. And coming to Holloway, obviously Holloway, he's the favorite. Probably, I'd say 70-30 on betting odds is about for Max, and it's definitely not an easy fight for Conor, but Max's tool is obviously the cardio. We've seen cardio issues for Conor. Nate Diaz one big issue, tired out against Khabib. A lot of people tire out against Khabib, but there looked a little tired against Chad Mendez before getting the finish, and Conor's always known for that second round finish, but if this drags into later rounds, I really think Max has a chance to put away Conor by TKO. The speed difference for me is also going to be big. Just Max has been in the game, hasn't been in the game longer necessarily, but he's been in the game more consistently. He's been here the last 5 years having some of the biggest fights, title shots. He's been here to train, and he's been training his hands, and I just don't think that Conor will be able to keep up necessarily, especially in the later rounds. I think early rounds, the exchanges on the feet will be really scrappy, and I think Conor can drop Max, honestly, with a deteriorating shin, but the speed for Holloway will be a big factor here. And the last bullet point, hasn't been drugged out for 5 years. Honestly, I just think Holloway's big takeaway from these 5 years has been he's going to have the advantage just as a lifestyle. It's not like Conor has been eating chicken and rice for 5 years. He's been partying. He's been loading his body full of toxins and just hasn't been focused on the fight game. He had a fight camp for Michael Chandler, obviously, but that was 2-3 years ago, and I don't think Conor has necessarily been as well prepared as a fighter. But I don't think this time off will affect Conor as much as people think. And McGregor's best path to victory. So for me, it's obviously going to have to be a KO in the early rounds. I don't think, no matter even if Conor utilizes his wrestling, his grappling, because I'd say he's got good jiu-jitsu. It's not shown up in big fights, but he has the ability to take someone down and hold them there, and he will always advance position and when he's on the ground, even if that's against Holloway in the first fight, took him down held him down, but still, regardless of that, he did damage on the ground. He bloodied up Holloway. He landed elbows. I think that could be a factor. I don't think it's going to be utilized, but it's definitely big for McGregor to find his rhythm early. Don't start slow. Don't let Max get ahead in the first round, because if you let Max get ahead in that first round, you're not going to be able to regain yourself. He's going to push the pace. He's going to really cardio abuse you. Even up at 170, Max is going to have maybe worse cardio, but McGregor's also not going to be he's not going to have the cardiovascular abilities that he used to. Even though they weren't the best, he's been off 5 years. He hasn't been training hard like Holloway has. So I think Conor's biggest goal here is going to be to get a finish in the early rounds. He needs to try and get that big shot the first round, maybe try to get some ground and pound, or really just put the hands on Holloway, damage him really badly, just get in his face and kind of abuse that longer reach, get the jab going, get the kicks going, especially the leg kicks. Leg kicks will be big here. Just being confident, having that same aura that he used to have, and just taking advantage of his physical capabilities because he's much stronger. I think the clinch could be a big factor here too. I don't see Holloway out-powering him in the clinch. I think McGregor can really toss him around, especially what we've seen against Oliveira. Very strong, physical, and I think Conor can do the similar thing. I don't think the takedowns are as big as a threat, nor the jiu-jitsu, but I think Conor just needs to mix it up, maybe use the grappling, but my prediction for this fight is going to be a Conor McGregor round 2 TKO, and if that doesn't happen, it's going to be a late Max Holloway finish with pace and volume up against the fence. So that's going to be my Conor McGregor best path to victory against Max Holloway at UFC 329.